In the summer of 1930, one magazine called it America's newest big industry. There were 25,000 miniature golf courses in the country, and more than half of them had been built in the previous 8 months. Manhattan alone had over 150 of them, on rooftops, above the traffic. Movie stars were building their own. 2 years later, almost all of them were gone. The man who lit the fuse was a hotel owner named Garnet, and he did not go down with the crash. He walked away with a fortune and used it to build something else entirely. We will get to him. First, the business he created, because it is one of the strangest in this whole series. A mini golf course is one of the cheapest things you can build in entertainment. It sells a product that costs almost nothing to deliver, and yet the real asset was never the golf at all. It was the dirt underneath. By the end of this video, you will know what a course actually costs, why a single round is almost pure profit, and why the land can be worth more than the entire business sitting on top of it. The buy-in. Start with what you are actually building, because it is barely a building at all. A mini golf course is close to the cheapest asset in the entertainment world. You are not pouring pools or installing refrigeration plants. You are landscaping a small plot of land, concrete and artificial turf, a set of obstacles, some fencing and lighting, and a little booth to take money. A classic outdoor 18-hole course can be built for somewhere between $150,000 and $500,000. An indoor-themed course costs more, and a full family entertainment center with a restaurant can pass $1 million. But the plain version is cheap by every standard in this series. That cheapness is the whole appeal. Because the build is low and the running costs are light, a well-placed course can pay back its entire construction bill in 1 to 3 years, which is fast. Owners often see it recoup in that window, which is why the format keeps drawing new operators. So there are tiers. A simple outdoor course on a cheap lot, a themed or indoor course chasing premium prices and year-round play, and the entertainment center, where the mini golf is the anchor next to go-karts, batting cages, and an arcade. But here is what you did not fully buy, and what turns out to matter most: the land. A course sits on a plot of real estate, and that plot has a value all its own, completely separate from the pudding. Hold that, because it is where this story ends. What you inherit. You inherit a cheap, simple business with 3 quiet problems. First, the weather. A classic mini golf course is outdoors, which means it lives and dies by the sky. In a northern climate, a course might only open 6 to 8 months a year. Think about what that means. You have to earn a full year of profit in half a calendar, and a single rainy summer weekend, your busiest time, is income you never get back. Second, the novelty. Mini golf is fun the first time and the 5th time, but a course that never changes gets stale to its local market. Those holes do not really wear out, which sounds great, but it means the temptation is to never reinvest, and a tired course slowly loses the repeat visits a local business depends on. Third, and quietly the biggest, the land underneath. You inherit a piece of real estate, and with it, property taxes and an opportunity cost that grows over time. As the area around you develops, that plot can become far more valuable as something other than a mini golf course. You are running a low-intensity business on land that the market may want for something much bigger. None of these will sink you tomorrow. Together, they define the whole game. This is a cheap, weather-bound, faddish business sitting on an asset that quietly appreciates underneath it. The revenue layers. A mini golf course has several income streams, and the beautiful part is the first one. Layer 1. Admissions. You sell rounds. A round of mini golf runs somewhere from $8 to $20 a person, and this is the baseline, the steady flow of families and dates and groups moving through the course. Here is the magic, which we will come back to. That round costs you almost nothing to provide. Layer 2. Parties and groups. Birthday packages, school trips, corporate outings. These book in advance. They fill the slower daytime and weekday hours, and party guests spend more and come back more often. A reserved group is worth far more than a walk-up. Layer 3. Food and drink. A snack bar selling ice cream, cold drinks, and simple food to a crowd that is already there and in a good mood. Easy, high-margin add-on spending. Layer 4. The extras. Branded golf balls and merchandise. Glow-in-the-dark nights. Season passes and multi-round discounts. And if you have added go-karts or an arcade, the combo ticket that lifts every visit. Stack it together and the shape is clear. The rounds bring the crowd through at almost no cost to you, and the parties, the snacks, and the extras stack margin on top of an already fat base. Listen to that again. Here is the number worth stopping on. A single round of mini golf costs the owner somewhere around $1.50 to deliver. That covers the wear on a ball and a putter, and the fee on the card payment. That is about all of it. You sell that round for $8, $12, $20. Listen to that again. Your main product costs about $1.50 and sells for well over $10. There is no inventory to buy, no machine burning power for each game, no ingredient that gets used up. Once the course is built and the gate is open, every extra round you sell is almost pure profit. Each additional player costs you almost nothing. That is what makes mini golf so different from the other assets in this series. The ice rink pays a fortune in power, whether or not anyone skates. The arcade feeds a floor of aging machines. A mini golf course, once built, sells the same 18 holes over and over, at a margin that almost no other attraction can touch. Here is the trick and the trap. You have to get enough people through the gate to cover the fixed costs, because while each round is nearly free, the rent and the land are not. The ledger. Turn the page to what leaves the account and notice what is missing. Rent, or the land cost, is the big one. Whether you lease the lot or own it, the ground under the course is the largest ongoing expense, and it is fixed. It does not care how many rounds you sell. Then labor, which is refreshingly light. A course can run with an attendant or two at the booth, and some extra hands for parties. This is not a business that needs a big payroll. Then the small stuff. Utilities, mostly lighting for night play. Maintenance and the occasional refresh of the obstacles to keep the course from going stale. Insurance for a public venue. Marketing to keep the families coming. Notice what is not on this list. There is no giant energy bill, no expensive inventory, no fleet of machines to replace. Compared to almost every other asset in this series, the cost of actually running a mini golf course is small. The weight is all in the fixed costs, the rent and the land, and in the simple problem of getting enough people through the gate during your short weather window to cover them. That is the ledger. Tiny variable costs, modest fixed costs, and one enormous asset sitting underneath that never shows up as an expense at all. The trap. Here is the trap, and it is the strangest one in this whole series. Your business can succeed, and the land can fire you. Think about the setup. You built cheap, on a plot of land. Your margins per round are fantastic. The course does well. But every year, as the neighborhood around you grows, the land you sit on becomes more valuable, not as a mini golf course, but as apartments, or a shopping center, or offices. The better your location does, the more the ground under your feet is worth to somebody who wants to build something bigger. At some point, the math tips. That plot becomes worth so much more developed that no amount of mini golf revenue can justify keeping it as a course. If you lease, the landlord sells or redevelops, and you are gone. If you own, you are the one holding an asset worth far more empty than it is with your windmills on it. That is the deep irony here. In most businesses, a great location protects you. In mini golf, a great location eventually prices out the mini golf. Your cash machine works beautifully, right up until the land underneath becomes too valuable to waste on 18 little holes. Movie stars once built lavish courses on prime city corners. That land is worth a fortune today, and not one of those corners is still a mini golf course. The history digression. To understand this business, go back to Lookout Mountain, Georgia, in 1926, and meet the hotel owner who turned a putting green into a national obsession. His name was Garnet Carter. He and his wife Frida ran the Fairyland Inn, a whimsical fairy tale-themed hotel on the mountain. While a full-sized golf course for the hotel was being built slowly, Carter put in a tiny miniature course to keep his guests entertained. Frida, who loved the folktale of Tom Thumb, designed the little holes with gnomes and fairy tale touches. The guests adored it. Carter saw what he had. He patented it in 1927 and called it Tom Thumb Golf. He solved the one real problem, that foot traffic killed the grass, by buying the full rights to an artificial turf made from cottonseed hulls for $65,000. A fortune at the time and a bargain in hindsight. Now a course could be built on any hard surface, anywhere, even a rooftop. Carter franchised it. Read what happened next. Tom Thumb Golf spread across the country like a fever, and within a few years there were thousands of them. Carter had turned a hotel amenity into an industry. When the crash came, he did the smartest thing in this entire story. He sold out of the company near the top and used his fortune to build Rock City, a tourist attraction on the same mountain that draws visitors to this day. He did not just ride the fad, he cashed the fad in for land. So watch how it collapsed, because it is a warning stamped in real numbers. By the summer of 1930, mini golf was not a hobby, it was a mania. The Commerce Department estimated 25,000 courses across America, 15,000 of them built in the first 8 months of that single year. A magazine called it the nation's newest big industry. In New York City, over 150 rooftops held courses. Film stars spent tens of thousands of dollars building elaborate personal links on prime city land. Then it died, fast. Mini golf turned out to be the last of the 1920s crazes, right alongside flagpole sitting and dance marathons. A crushing depression gutted spending, and the market had wildly overbuilt. Courses that had opened months earlier closed within a year or two. The boom went almost to zero. Notice the two forces that killed it, because they still kill courses today. Oversupply, too many courses chasing the same players, and a downturn that dried up the casual dollars a fun extra depends on. A mini golf course is a discretionary, fattish spend on land that others want. So when the crowd's thin, or the land calls, the course is what disappears. That 1930 crash was the extreme version. The slow version, a tired course on rising land, plays out somewhere every year. The survivors. So who survives and how? The winners solve the 3 problems the losers ignore. 1. They beat the weather. The survivors add cover, lighting for night play, or go fully indoor, so they are not trying to earn a whole year in 6 sunny months. Some lean into indoor-themed and glow courses that run 12 months regardless of the sky. 2. They fight the novelty. They reinvest, refresh the holes, add glow nights and events, and give the local market a reason to come back, instead of milking a tired course until the repeat visits die. 3. They stop being just mini-golf. Strong operators wrap the course inside a family entertainment center, adding go-karts, batting cages, an arcade, and a snack bar, so the cheap, high-margin golf anchors a whole afternoon of spending rather than a single $10 round. 4. The one the smartest owners understand best. They play the land. They either own the ground so they capture its rise, or they treat the course as a deliberate placeholder, a cheap, cash-flowing use of a plot that is quietly appreciating until the day it is worth redeveloping. Garnet Carter did exactly this. He turned a fad into land, and the land outlasted the fad. So does owning a mini golf course work. Let us run it and treat this as a model, not a real course. You build a themed course on a decent lot. In a good year, the weather cooperates, the parties book solid, the snack bar hums, and thousands of players come through paying well over $10 for a round that costs you $1.50. With margins like that on the golf and real money on parties and food, the course throws off healthy cash and pays back its cheap build quickly. As a pure operating business, few assets in this series convert a small build into steady profit so easily. That is the good year. Now the other side. A rainy summer erases your short season. A newer course opens nearby and the novelty splits. And underneath it all, the land keeps climbing until a developer offers the owner more for the empty lot than the course could earn in a decade. The business did nothing wrong. The land outgrew it. But here is the real verdict. A mini golf course is 2 different investments stacked on top of each other. On top is one of the best little cash machines in leisure, cheap to build, nearly free to operate per round, quick to pay back. Underneath is a piece of real estate that may quietly become the entire point. Whether owning one works depends on which of those 2 you actually care about, and whether you own the dirt or just rent it. So the honest answer is this. As a business, mini golf is one of the most efficient assets in this whole series. Tiny costs, fat margins, fast payback. But it is fattish, weather-bound, and forever sitting on land that may want to be something else. Run the golf well, and it pays. Own the land, and it may pay far more, one day, by ceasing to be a golf course at all. The thesis close. So look again at what you really bought. Not the windmills, not the little bridges or the clown's mouth, or the 18th hole that swallows your ball for a free game. That is the product, cheerful and cheap and wonderfully profitable, one round at a time. You bought a machine that turns $1.50 into 15, over and over, all summer long. You also bought the ground it stands on, which is quietly playing a much longer game than you are. The pudding is the business. The land is the investment. On the day those 2 disagree, the land always wins. A mini golf owner is not really selling golf. They are parking a cheap little cash machine on a piece of the future and hoping to read the land before the land reads them.